Welcome to 2022, people. Well done, you've made it. You've actually made it. It's like you've arrived. This feeling that I've got is that, yeah, if you're still here, you've arrived. And it brings this really interesting, exciting vibe for 2022. We had, on New Year's Day, we had the energy and the vibrancy and the power is the only thing I can say of the note for the whole year. And this means that even though there will be challenges this year, because we're still going through what we know we've been through for the last 2 years and the world is changing, the potential for success, for seeing things finally fit together, things finally coming into place. And there's a big focus this year too on relationships, but people relationships, personal relationships, intimate relationships. How you relate to people is really important this year. That's kind of like a bit of a message. You take what you can from the last 2 years. A lot of you've been through changes. We've all been through changes, but some of you it's completely lifestyle change. And so this is the year that you finally find your feet. You finally go, right, I know what I'm doing. This is where I'm going. This is where I'm headed. So if not now, at the beginning of the year, definitely as we go through this year, you will find your place. You will find your peace in some ways. So this is Radio Kidnappers. This is the voice of Hawke's Bay. It's life coaching with Gail. I am a psychic, intuitive, channeler, medium, bunch of stuff to do with the spiritual and intuitive. And what I like to do at the beginning of every month, as you know, if you've seen this before, is a forecast that gives you an idea of how the month will run, what the general kind of theme will be, and we will get into that now. 2022. It's a year I'm excited about, and I'm excited for you about it. So let's just have a look and see what maybe is coming up of relevance for you in your personal life in January. Ta-da! So this is, for those of you that can't see it and those that you are listening on the radio, this is the card that is called the Karma or Karmic card. It's the card of destiny. It's the card of purpose. You are being called to your purpose. This has been slowly introduced to you over the last 2 years in different ways, which is why you've had perhaps some upheavals in your life, some changes in your life. And now it starts. Now your purpose is going to show itself to you. So this month, take notice, please, of anything that comes to your attention. Anything that repeats itself several times, because that is our marker for guidance. Anything that pops into your head, any words of a song that you just can't get out of your head are your words. They're telling you something for you, about your life, and maybe answering a question that you've had for the last year, 2 years maybe, or even just about, who you are. So this is Destiny Calls, and you are ready, truly ready, but this is when you start. So this is when you come in alignment with whether you know what your life path is, whether you know what your destiny is. It actually doesn't matter. We have an automatic pilot within us that actually puts us in exactly the right place at exactly the right time with exactly the right person or people and exactly the right circumstances to line us up for what we are meant to be involved with. Sometimes it's something we don't want to do. We avoid our purpose sometimes because we like to kind of explore other things, and that's okay. I'm just saying that there will be some things that happen for you this month which are not caused by you, that or created by you, but are put in front of you. The things that are put in front of you are part of your life purpose. If you want to find out more about that, you can always contact me for a personal reading on 027 4166 545. Exciting. We might expand on that a little bit more, but we'll just see how we run with this. So, January 2022, what else does it have in store for you? So what's going on for you and what's coming up for you in January 2022? Aha. Some of you might still be feeling limitations and restrictions. There's temptation in doing things the same way as the way you've done them before, or wanting to get back to. You know how we've been through lockdown and we still have that dreaded lurgy around, but not so dreaded because we've all survived for 2 years. Think this, if you had been told in 2000, at the beginning of 2019, that there was going to be an enormous plague on the earth, if you like, or if there was going to be an epidemic of great proportion that would carry on for a long time. And if you were told that many would die and there would be all these things happening as well, you would have been absolutely terrified to even move forward in your life. But you've survived it. You've survived 2 years, and 2 years was that big marker of change. So you've kind of made it. There are still, of course, things that we'll be doing that are different to before, but some of you will be still hanging out to get back to how it was before. We're in a changing world, and it's kind of exciting because we're evolving and we are growing and we are doing it in a different way to what we've been doing for the previous 200 years before that. It's innovative and it's new, so therefore it can be a little uncomfortable and a little scary. We do still have certain restrictions on us in January, we know that, so there's still that kind of mask wearing, there's still the passports, there's still our lives not being quite as free as before, and that just is a reminder that that will continue. But it's not a bad thing because you've been doing it. It's something you've been living with and doing, and you've accommodated, even if it was difficult, you've accommodated. You've acclimatized to it in some degree, in some ways, and you'll just continue doing that. So let's have a look at another card for January for you. Something that actually gives you a little bit of a hint perhaps for you and your personal year this year, and the kinds of things that you can be expecting to come up for you this year. So for a lot of you, and that's the card, it's the Temperance card, it is one of metamorphosis, it is one of alchemy, it is one that says you might not think much is happening, even though it's coming into place, it might not be coming into place in the way that you would like or that you were prepared for, but it's an evolving process, an alchemy of your life changing from where it was to where it will be. I always think of and I say this to people, so I always think of the monarch caterpillar, and we were all caterpillars running around the world, and we were happy enough doing it. We had plenty of food, we were doing what we needed to do, or we were just handling whatever situation that we needed to handle, whether it was a comfortable one or an uncomfortable one, whether there was plenty or whether there was nothing much. We were handling it, we were coping with it. But now we're in a position where we have been for the last 2 years in somewhat of a chrysalis, where our movements have been limited and where the changes that have been happening are changes we don't know. If you were to ever open a chrysalis and look inside the chrysalis, you would see green mush. It is neither a caterpillar nor a butterfly. we know we have a higher perspective. We get to stand back and watch the process of the caterpillar. It's harder to do it for yourself in your own life, but that's what's been happening. So we've been in a chrysalis for the last couple of years. We're kind of like, this year we're breaking out of that. We have become a butterfly. We still have to break out of the chrysalis a little bit, which we can see happening. And then we get to kind of like hang around a little bit before we can fly, so that our wings are solid and ready to support us. I'm going to do another card for January as well, because alchemy is wonderful. Alchemy of old was about turning the base lead into gold through a whole complex chemical, reactionary, complex combination. For your life, you are a mental being, you are an emotional being, you are a physical being, and you are a soul being. So you can imagine the complexities of a human being in transformation. A lot of you have been through very personal and very personally challenging transformations, life transformations, but personal ones as well during these last couple of years. To some extent, that starts to fall into place this year, and we start to, like I said before, we fall into our purpose. Whether we know about it or not, it happens automatically. Whether we like it or not, situations come to us for us to participate and cooperate. It just makes it easier. So we'll do one more card for January, and I just want to see what else there is for you for 2022. Even though we're just doing January, it's like, yeah, like what can you look forward to? And so that's funny, because I was going to take that one and then I took that one, so I'll just take that one as well and have a quick little look at what that one was. Oh, that's all right. So the one I was going to take was oh sorry, I'll show you. That's the one I was going to take, but I ended up taking a different one. This pretty much just says, so this is the intuition card, it's the High Priestess. So this is the part within you that is intuitive, that has knowledge and knowing that you don't know you have, and that starts to surface a lot more this year, if not this month. It is something that you work by instinct, what feels right, what feels like you want to do, and it's like that's a little bit like a guidance system in itself. Well, it is a guidance system in itself, not a little bit. For those of you who don't connect with your intuition, it's simply there, and it will wake up this year. The card that came out that I wasn't going to pull out is just a supporting part of that card. We all have, whether we're male or female, we all have a feminine sensitivity side to us. For men, it's their gut instinct, but that's their kind of like feminine radar, if you like. Not to diminish it at all. It's simply, not to diminish the maleness at all, simply that it helps make you a more rounded person if you have both the masculine and feminine aspects in balance within you. And that's women that have the masculine factor in balance with them as well, so that one's neither stronger than the other, that none takes over more than the other. They work in balance and harmony, and I guess this year is the year that also happens, because it is about that relationship with us, masculine, feminine. So it's masculine on this side, which is your right side, and feminine on this side, and the feminine links in with the right side of the brain, remember, which is to do with your greater knowledge. Call it your ancestors' knowledge, but it goes greater than that. It's like, how do you know what you know? How do you know to do something you've never been taught how to do? It all comes from here, and your left hand links you in with that side of your brain. We've got two brains. It's one brain, but it's joined. So we've got two parts of our brain. So we need to be able to use both of them, whatever our gender is, we need to be able to use and access the information from both sides of our brain. So this year, it's about accessing information from this side of our brain. And it supports any creative aspect that you have to yourself. And yes, you do have it. Whether you think you're good at anything or not, you have a creative aspect that needs to be nurtured, grown, and encouraged, maybe expressed as well this year. That's what it's saying for the year. So when it comes to, I'm thinking about whether I expand on these or not, because I don't know what else I'll talk about if I don't. So let's have a look at, this. I think the one I'll look at is the one where everything's in process, that it's not boring. It's just like you can't really see movement. You can't really see it coming together fast enough, and yet it's coming together absolutely stupendously perfectly. Think of lead and then think of gold and the value of both. If you are becoming gold, then you are becoming a very valuable being. You already are a valuable being, but maybe you might recognize it as well over time. So let's expand on that and just see what else comes up with that. I'm going to put them all there like that because I like to move the cards around. Sometimes I like to put them in different places, but I think just for now, that's the card I'm going to expand on. So, everything in moderation. Sorry, that's just what I got. Everything in moderation this year works really well. No excess one way or another. So no excess and no less than. Can't think of the word. We got most of the cards in the pack almost fell out. Okay, so the way I'm going to read this through your transformation period is there are opportunities around you that present themselves at the beginning part of this year. And I would look for those in January. These can be simple invitations to go somewhere. They can be simple, like reading a book and going, oh, that'd be nice to do. Take a next step. It's like an invitation, like, why don't you? And you'll get other people that say, well, why don't you? And that's actually kind of a message that comes through from the universe through other people, especially if more than one person says the same thing to you and they don't know each other. So take every opportunity. This is a month to be kind of practical, put practical things in place in a way that kind of works, I'd say smoothly or more smoothly. There are things you are still carrying with you from the past. These will be things that slow you down. So if you had a clean slate for the 1st of January, if you could truly put your worries, your troubles, all the unfairness that's happened in your life, if you could truly put that into its a little compartment or a place of resolution, a place where you actually could say, well, thank you for that, because I would not be here right now if that hadn't happened, and thank the person perhaps that was involved with it if there were people. If you can do that and be grateful that it helped you in your life, whatever the unfairness, whatever the whatever you felt robbed of, if you could put that into the context of, well, maybe I owed that person a debt from my ancestors past or from past lives, and now it's settled. And if you could be at peace with that, then your process of transformation, your life's transformation, will move more quickly and more deliberately. It won't quite take so long. The other aspect is, and what will help move your life forward, is to avoid worrying about not having enough money, or will I have enough money, or will I be able to do the things that I want to do. Also avoid stressful situations with other people. Be confident in yourself. If things don't work out, it's because the time's not quite right and it's the delay is going to work in your favour. Allow and act on ideas and inspirations that come to you, and all those things will help that process of transformation this year come into place a whole lot more quickly. And again, we're out of time. So, lovely people, if you would like to have a little bit of a forecast for your own year, contact me, Gail, on 027 4166 545. This is Radio Kidnappers, your community radio, and namaste.